Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to be making, on screen you see an inspiration piece. It's called a brick mold. And here's the one that I came up with for our craft today. So what I did was I took two of those little storage boxes that you can get at Dollar Tree, and I heated up the ends, one end of each box, and took the end out. And then I glued them together with wood glue. Yes, that wood glue is a hot mess. I don't like the color. It's vibrant yellow, but it's okay. We're gonna cover that up with paint and I'm using some uh, spackle there from the Dollar Tree or Home Depot, whatever you have. So I'm wanting to fill in those grooves on the side. I don't want to see grooves. And it's also going to give us some texture on the side of the wooden boxes. So go ahead and spray that or squeeze it on, fill in the grooves. Unless you want the grooves, that's fine. I opted not to keep them. They also have spackle there. This is caulk, but they also have spackle there that you can use. It will do the exact same thing in the little containers, little tubs. It will do the same thing. Fill in any areas that you want to be filled in and add texture where you might want some. So again, I took out one end of each of the boxes and I glued them together to make a long one. So if you notice in the inspiration picture in the beginning, it had what looked like had trim on it for one thing, but it also had little ends that stuck out on the ends, on the sides, if you go back and look at it. So that's what I'm trying to replicate. On mine, I'm going to make them rounded because the most of them that I see on like Etsy, or if you Google cement brick molds, you'll see that the corners are typically rounded. Some reason I decided to do that, but if you wanted to make your square, if you wanted to put none, that's fine. You wouldn't have to make this a brick mold. But that's what I'm doing, is I'm trying to mimic the roundness. So I took some cardboard that's the same height as the boxes, and I'm just drawing some rounded ends that I'm going to then glue. You'll see in a minute that I'm going to then glue on the ends of the box. So I don't know if you've ever seen these, because I know I get emails or alerts from Decor Steals, if you guys ever heard of that. And I've seen these in their alerts before, and they intrigue me, and I like them. I like wooden pieces. But of course, I felt the need to want to make it out of some lighter weight wood. For one thing, if I get tired of it, I can just get rid of it. I don't have to pay $30, $40 for one of these. And if I get tired of it, I can just get rid of it. So this is my version of that kind of decor. So I just drew a rounded end on each one of these, and then we're going to cut it off so that it then will be glued. So there's the side of the box, the container, the caulk is dry. So now I'm going to cut it off, and we are going to glue those on the ends. I know if you're not familiar with this kind of thing, which I'm not, but I've just seen it, like I said, this may look like an odd project, but lots of things are odd, so let's run with it. I'm just trying to cut all of these to be the same length. I'm just trimming off any flat pieces on the sides that look a little odd. Okay, so now you're going to add some glue to the ends of these little cutouts that we did. And you're going to glue them to the edge on the very end of your little container. I really wanted to get some little handles to get for these, but these boxes are so small that I do not have any handles that worked on them, so I didn't get any handles, but it would be cute if they had little handles. Again, in the picture that I showed you in the beginning, if you don't want to make these rounded, you could square them, make them shorter. I've seen different versions. Give them a second to dry, and you can glue them on the other end. From this angle, it looks like a sled. Also, too, I was just thinking, if you don't have cardboard, you could, and if you want to make the ends squared, you could use, you could cut off tongue depressors. Use tongue depressors as the end pieces and make them squared. That could certainly be a possibility. Okay, so coming up next, we're going to be making some banding that's going to look like rusty metal that goes around the ends of the brick mold. And we will be doing it with cardboard. Surprise. So here's the piece I cut out, and I measured it. It's about 3/4 of an inch wide. So I cut some long strips of cardboard. And see, what we're going to do is it will go along the edge there. It will come up the side, across the top, and go down the other side. Just like that. Okay, so now I opt to rip off the top layer of the paper on my cardboard because I like to see the grooves. But if you do not wish to do that, you could certainly leave the top layer on and do the same thing that I'm going to do. So next I'm going to be taking it outside. Now, this video next is not the best, but I take it outside and I spray paint them. I wanted to give you an idea of how I do it. So I took the paper off the top. So now I'm going to spray paint them brown first, a little bit here and there, not totally. I have this, I'm holding this, so at this time I decided to use a little bit of paprika and cinnamon to add a red rusty color to the cardboard. So now I'm going to take black. You see, you need to sprinkle this on when it's still wet so it sticks better. So now I'm going to take my flat black. I'm also going to spray it. There's no rhyme or reason how I do this. And sprinkle on some more paprika or cinnamon. And I normally use cinnamon, and I do put cinnamon on this as well, but I decided to throw a little red in there to help with the rusty red color instead of just brown this time. And then this is what I use at the end when I have all my other colors. When I have it the way I want it, this is my end product, except for sometimes I will go ahead and add more cinnamon and then spray some more of this on. I'm so sorry this video is bad. I was spraying a spray paint and make sure I was getting it, and it just, I needed more eyes and more hands to help me. So there's a close-up of what it looks like when I got done with it. I think I put cinnamon on here. Did I do that already? I know I added cinnamon, so there are some finishing pictures of what they look like when I brought them in the house after they dried, and they dried very quickly. So now we're going to paint the box brown. You know, from adding that caulk on the side of the box, it does add some. I just realized I can still see grooves in there, and I didn't just realize, but it didn't really help that much putting that. Anyway, it added some texture to the side of the boxes as well. It was a neat little texture, putting the spackle on the side. So some places I didn't put it on, and other places I did put it on. Trying to add a little water to the paint because these little boxes, this wood is so dry it was soaking up the paint like fast as you could get it on. It was soaking it up. Not on the outside, but on the inside of the boxes. So dry. It's a little chippy wood. So yeah, you're going to paint inside and out. That's why I sand it a little bit. I don't really sand the box, but I sand the cardboard pieces that I put on the ends. I like it distressed. So here we go. Now we're going to put on the banding that we made with the cardboard earlier. So the mistake I made here at first was I moved it over too far. I was making it even with the inside of the box, and that's not how it should be. It should, the end of the band, edge of the band should be even with the end of the box, not the inside of the box. So after I saw that, I have to rip it off, which is fine. No big deal. You won't even know the difference. So yeah, so there. Now you need to make the edge of the banding even with the end of the box. Ooh, be careful of that glue again. I'm always telling you guys, be super careful with it because it is hot. I did not get burned, but it's so easy to happen. Okay, so there it goes over the edge. And here we're going to put it on the other side. even. Yeah, so I'm showing you even with the end of the box. And we'll fix that paper. So let's do the other end. So I'm just going to fix that paper that I messed up there. Nothing that little ink can't fix. Okay, so we're almost done here with the project. So I do want to put a label on the side of it. Now this you could use on your kitchen table. You could put flowers in it. You can put craft supplies in it. You could put it on any of your shelves you have around, in cabinets. Fill it with flowers. I don't typically do a lot of fake flowers in my house, so what I filled mine with was some things I had crafted to look like old, very large thimbles, not thimbles, um, thread spools. That's it, spools. Trying to show you close up. So I fill mine with what looks like old thread spools or fabric spools that I had made out of some Legos, not Legos, good gosh, out of some, I labeled mine Malvern Brick Company. And make sure your ink is dry before you go rubbing on it, unless you don't mind it smearing. But I took those spools I was talking about and I made them out of Lincoln logs. I took the Lincoln logs from when my kids were little, and there were some big ones in there and there were some small ones, so I took small ones and I glued them together to make them big ones, and I wrapped fabric around them, but you'll see them in a minute in the picture, in the end result picture that I show you. But here I'm just distressing the little sign that I'm making for it. You know me and my signs. Gotta have a little tag. Gotta distress it. So I originally make this and I stick it on without anything behind it, but it was annoying me because I just could tell something needed to go behind it. So I ended up putting a piece of distressed striped fabric behind it, and I felt that it looked better. Obviously, it wouldn't typically be on a cement brick mold, but this is not a typical mold anyway. So, in order for it to fit my style, I decided to put a little fabric behind it, which you'll see here shortly. Now that I think about it, I should have sanded that a little bit too to make it a little more distressed. The wording is a little too perfect. Afterthought. So there's the end one without anything in it. There's from the top. And here are the little spools, and there are the fabric that I put behind the label that I end up putting on it. Those are Lincoln logs glued together with fabric wrapped around them. And there it is. Thank you so much for joining me today and watching my video. I'll see you in the next one. Please consider subscribing and sharing, please. Bye.